Hello everyone! We are here on our first release party, okay? We are excited to show to you guys the stuff that we are working on this last months, right? The Torizon ID extensions Apollo X, right? So we have a bunch of new stuff on this new release. We are with this extension in beta. I know that someone or other customers and users already use it, but now we are uh, releasing it as stable or Torizon ID extension Apollo X V2. Let me change here from my screen. Yeah, you can go now to the marketplace on the Visual Studio on marketplace and search, for example, for Torizon. Let me go here on the view of the marketplace. Let me search by Torizon now. You will find some extensions, right? The old ones that has this blue background, and the new one that have this rocket spaceship icon, right? So this one is the new V2 Apollo X ID extension, the new release, the new version, redesigned from scratch from feedback that we get from our users, right? So we are integrating our Torizon ecosystem, right? Delivering templates with the Debian Docker images ecosystem from Torizon to users, the customers getting started easily and fast their projects. Okay. Let me, yeah, you can see here that we are releasing today the V2. Okay. Let me also call here the André. Hey, André.
Hello everyone. Is in the live. Hello, Matheus.
Yeah, I'm Matheus Castelo. I'm at work on the R&D team for Torizon ID extensions, and also André works with me on the team, right? We are working maintaining the old extensions and also designing and working together with all the Torizon team and the ecosystem, this tool, right? So let's show first here the the first thing that we have new that is this Torizon templates, right? The VS Code Torizon templates. It's public on our GitHub, right? You can go on Toradex GitHub and see this repository. It's open source. All our templates is open source. We designed it in the way that is easy to you. Add the other templates, right? Here on the README, you can see the templates that we have from the stacks of technology that we are supporting now. You can see that we have the C and C++ console, Qt, 6 QML application, .NET console application, .NET Uno platform Skia, GTK application, Blazor application, and Python 3 console application. These ones are the stable templates that we have now, right? It's the templates that we have Toradex supported. So here also on these templates, we have what we call contributing community templates, right? The community supported templates. That are templates that users of the Torizon ecosystem can contribute. For example, we have here the Skywalker that contribute with the Rust console application, right? So we have here a document and how to contribute with all the steps that we are using. A lot of stuff, a lot of the automation that runs to build the Docker image, to have the Docker Compose all set with the graphical composer and etc. It's all common for all the templates, right? So it's easy to you also integrate some template for some other framework or whatever you want here on TVS Code Horizon templates, right? Okay, more templates that we have. We have, yeah, these ones are me experimenting something with Java, Node.js, Mono, .NET, Uno Platform Frame Buffer, and also these two here, the Avalonia, that are very popular, right? I know that some users are already using the Avalonia templates, right? So these ones are community supported, but we are also tracking the using of these templates, right? So we know when we should promote this from the community to Toradex supported to enter also in the same quality pipeline that we have for the Toradex templates supported, right? We are also working in something to let's say some documents to better describe the quality of all these templates that are supported by the community now, right? But this is all of the sci things that we are releasing today, the VS Code Torizon templates, right? What more we have? Yeah, let's go now see how this integrates with our extensions, right? How these templates integrates with our extensions. So I will ask for André share with us their screen. Yeah, can you create a project from scratch?
Yeah, for sure. So today I'm going to create a C# Uno project. And to do that, we can go first, we need to close our folder if it was already open. Then we can go here on new Torizon project. And as you all can see, we have all the templates available. They are listed on this documentation here. And I'm going to select the C# Uno one.
Oh,
I'm going
and
to,
this and it's cool to mention that also this is one of the features that we are releasing on this new extension, right? This wizard, right? It's very cool. It's very similar, like an experience that we have on Visual Studio, right? But inside the Visual Studio Code. So it's very cool to have this wizard to create your project.
yeah,
Go,
for
go
sure.
ahead.
And we also have the possibility of creating multi-container projects, but this feature is still unstable, is still on experimental use. So on the stable version, as you can see, if I click here, it shows that it's just an experimental feature, but it's already available on the early access, but it's still uh, unstable compared to the single container project one.
Mm-hmm. We should release
So
on the next versions, right? We are working
yeah,
with. Mm-hmm.
yeah, hopefully soon it becomes stable.
Cool.
So let's see. Let me put a name. Here, a nice thing to say is that all fields have validation. So, for example, Docker Hub doesn't allow uppercase uh, characters. And if I put, for example, an uppercase character, it will show me a message that it's an invalid name for a Docker Hub. And also the other fields, if I put like an invalid path, and yeah. So let me go here. Let me create folder, and let's create the project.
Yeah. So this is getting the template from the repository, right? And
Uh, yeah. So it gets the template from the repo that Matheus showed, and now we have everything you need for your application to work both locally and remotely. So we have like all the source code, all Docker files, Docker Compose file, all the files needed to run your project on VS Code and debug it locally and remotely. You also have some very nice auxiliary scripts, like uh, they can be executed through this task runner. Like for example, this check deps one, which checks if you have all dependencies that your project needs installed on your host machine. It's we also have here contained this extension.json, which tells VS Code to which extensions do we recommend for this project. So if we type here recommended, as they are defined there, we can show the extensions recommended for this project. And this extension allows us to do the things that we are going to see, like syntax highlighting on the code, code completion, uh, putting breakpoints and things like this.
Okay,
So
so all the templates has this file, right? I
yeah,
don't need
all
to, for example, if I have a stack of technology or some framework that I'm using on the template, I don't need to search or check the best extension, right? It's already there. I can go and install this recommended, right?
yeah, exactly. So like in this Uno template, we have the C sharp and the Uno as recommended. But if you create a C++ QML application, it will recommend you the C++ extension, a Qt extension. So each uh, language, each framework has its own recommended extension and also its own list of dependencies.
I think we had a cool question here. Uh, Let me see if I can put it on the screen. Um, Martin is asking, when developing with compiling languages such as C++ and Rust, does this extension also create a SDK container and open it on VS Code as the previous extension did?
Uh, yeah, that's a very nice question. And in fact, it does. When you create a C++ application, you have also a Docker file.sdk here, which will build this SDK with the cross compilation toolchain, and it will use this to build your code, and then your compiled code will be copied into your application. And there are also some templates that have multi-stage build here in Docker. So you first have, uh, in fact, this one uh, has this multi-stage build for the release container. So as you can see here, it first uses the .NET SDK container from Microsoft. It compiles the code, and then it copies the code into your release application image here from the build stage.
Yeah, Martin, there is this SDK, but it's not like the previous one that opens the VS Code inside of the container, right? The VS Code will be um, on the local, on your host, right? Um, there is no dev container, right? This is the right term.
Hmm.
The previous ones creates the SDK and opens um, a, a remote connection with the VS Code installed inside this dev container, this SDK container. Now there is no dev container, only the SDK container. So this container can build, compile everything for the target architecture, right? But the VS Code, the tooling, the syntax highlighting, everything is on your host, okay? Because of it, we
Yeah,
have this check depths, right? That also checks if you have what is needed, at least to you have the syntax highlighting and everything out um, working.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
you also show this Docker file, and this is automated because I remember from the previous version that the Docker file was generated by the extension, right? Now on the V2, the Docker files um, comes from the templates, right? But it's not
yeah,
generated by the extension. The extension, this is a getting started, right?
yeah. So on the previous extension, you like would set the parameters of the Docker file by going through like a configurations panel here and setting the parameters, and then the extension would override the Docker file. So you were not able to customize Docker file, and you cannot like let's say go beyond these parameters that were already there. Here on this extension, every single file in here is fully customizable. Like nothing gets overwritten, except like for example, some auxiliary scripts or anything like this, but like anything that you can customize for a project will not be overwritten. Like even the tasks.json, the launch.json, anything on source code, anything on Docker Compose, on dockerfile.debug. If you want to update the templates, you have this option, try update the templates, and it will suggest you uh, new the changes that we made on the template, but it will not overwrite it. Overwrite it.
Okay, so we have another question. Let me take this one from Drew. So does that mean it's limited to the PKG based system? Yes, Drew. For now, we are only supporting Ubuntu and Debian systems, right? But we are also supporting it on the WSL, right? So Windows users can use it on an Ubuntu or Debian WSL distro. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, André.
Okay. So in this presentation, I'm going to use a Virgin M Plus. And so to use it, first you have these network devices here that will scan for all the devices connected to your network. Then you can go here, click on connect. I have already connected it. So once it is connected, like here, we have all the birds that I have um, connected previously and like set it here. And then here we have the options to interact with the device. And one of the options is this set default. This set default changes the Docker context to set um, as the main context your board. So, and here we are leveraging the use of the Docker extension for Microsoft. So here we have many nice features that you can leverage from there. So here we can see all the running containers, all the image that we have on the board. We can perform things like pushing, pulling, inspecting the image. We can also do very nice things like viewing the logs and attaching to the shell of the running container. So for example, if I click here, I'm inside the container, inside the shell of the container.
So this is pretty
And
cool. You put the device as default one, and it's changed the context of the Docker extension from VS Code, right? Everything now from
yeah,
Docker is being handled from the target, right? From the device on this extension, right?
yeah, exactly. So with like one click, you have a very nice view of all the containers and all the images that you have on your device, and you can make many interactions with that. Yeah,
Pretty cool. Yeah.
really cool.
Okay.
So going ahead, and now let's go ahead to debug our application. So let's put a breakpoint in our application. Um, and yeah, let leave it here. It's the breakpoint. And now, as you can all see here, we have the debugging options. In the case of this template, we have two ways to locally debug it and three ways to remote debug it, and also a new experimental feature that will come with this extension is that some templates will have like support to x86 boards and even with 5 boards. For example, these templates, you can also use it with x86, but let's say the stable ones are these ones that are on the third exomes, which are ARM32 and ARM64. So like, for example, if I click on local debug here, we will be able to see that it compiles the code and it will show in our screen uh, like the initial, it will of course reach the breakpoint, and once I click continue, it will show in our screen the this default view. And now I'm going to change it a little bit on this demo to show a nicer view, to add a button so we can interact with this and see uh, it working on the boards. So
Cool.
I
Yeah, this
have
is this
already,
this is also cool feature, right? Because as a developer, maybe you should or you like to um, first test it on your local development on your host, and after that, after check if it's working, okay, you can deploy on the remote target, right?
yeah, and it's like way faster to test it on your local device. So like, for example, if you're doing a graphical application and you want to like change the color of something and adjust the size of something and then change the position, you can do this and like local debug it. This C Sharp project also have even like hot reload, so you can like change and see how it goes. Uh, and yeah, it's a very nice feature.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cool.
let me add the new stuff.
So yeah, you are tuning now your application, right?
Yeah,
Okay, put in a button. All right.
yeah, putting a button, uh, telling it to change the label when the button gets clicked. And now let's debug it on the, okay, so now I have selected my ARM64 board, and now it will perform the stack of tasks needed to do the debugging on the board. Uh, so like at first it is compiling the code, now it's going to build the Docker image. On the first build, it will take a bit more time because it needs to build to run this apt update and apt install task that installs all the packages needed for the image. But after the first build, it gets cached, so it will go way faster after the first run.
Cool. So all these steps, right? The pipeline to build your application for the target architecture, to build the Docker image, to deploy it to remote target, to run it on the remote target, to open the debugger port and connect it through the VS Code on your local development PC. It's already on the tasks from the templates, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's all already prepared on the tasks of the templates. And like if you have a custom task, a custom, let's say, installation step, you need to like manually add some file or something like this, you can also go on tasks.json and customize the tasks or add your task and put it on the task stack. It is the documentation describes like how is the stack of the tasks, so you can go there and just like follow it and experiment and customize your tasks if you need.
Cool. Yeah, let's wait for the build then.
Yeah, let's wait a little bit now. Now it has been built. Now it is exporting the layers to the board.
We should see something on your board, right?
Yeah, so when it gets up, we will see this new screen already on the board.
Yeah, pay attention here, guys, on the machine, on the device from Andres, because something will be shown on this screen. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, is there.
So as we can see, it is we have our new application here on the screen, and if I click it here on release, as we can see, it has reached the breakpoint. So we are, of course, remotely debugging the application. Let me
Cool.
click in continue, and then as you can see, it shows here the label that we have set it to change. So yeah, very cool feature.
Very cool. So remote deploy, remote debug. We show the templates. What more we can show? Yeah, let's show the CI/CD pipeline integrations now, right? I know that the OR templates has integration or has a getting started also with all the steps for a pipeline to integrate also with your Torizon platform, right?
Yeah, exactly. So another very nice feature is that we can set once we have like while we are developing it, we can also integrate it with GitHub Actions, and we can configure it in a way that once we push our code to our GitHub repo, it will start pipeline to like build the code and to ensure the quality of our code. Also, this pipeline you can edit and configure as you need, and it also allows you to already push your application like automatically to the device through the Torizon platform.
Cool.
So let's do it. The first thing we need to do is run these few pipeline settings to configure the CI/CD repo parameters. Here I'm going to put Matheus namespace, as we are going to use his namespace to run the pipeline and make the connection with the board. So let's put it here.
Yeah, we have to run this task first to fill the settings, right, that you'll be used during the pipeline.
Yeah,
But the secrets variables has to be set on the GitHub side, right? Are you show after you fill the this data? Are you show the GitHub side? Go ahead.
yeah. And like here, for example, if you configure the namespace and the password as your own, it's the one that you will like use to push to Docker Hub. But as we are using Matheus one on this demo, I'm going to configure this one. And now uh, let's say version one tag. Uh,
Yeah, these
let's
secrets are to be used locally, right? The the secrets from the GitHub will be set on the GitHub Actions side.
yeah. So let's configure platform parameters. Oops, sorry.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
as we
So
can see here,
you set the fleet name, right? This the last input,
uh,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Let me show here one thing then, because I'm also connected here on our Torizon platform. We can see that we have two devices here, the André dev device and my own device. The two are provisioned on the platform and we have it added to our release fleet, right? Because at the end of the pipeline, we expect to have our devices uh, updated, right?
yeah.
Okay, let me back to you view. Yeah.
Okay, so as you can see here, there is a reminder to set these variables on the GitHub secrets. And now I'm going to go to Matheus repo and initiate the repo in this uh, space that I'm using here. So let me get, let me first fork the repo from Matheus. So let's go to there.
Yeah. So André, you fork the project, and meanwhile, I can show also on the GitHub side. Here you are seeing my repository, the repository that the André you fork and you commit pull request for me, right? So here on this repository, I already have it set the secret repository environment variables, right? The the variables that the André show at the end of the few pipeline settings that need to be set on the GitHub Actions secrets here, right? The Docker password, the platform client ID, the platform client secrets, and the platform credentials that you get from Torizon platform. All this documentation, how to get these variables, how to create our client API, and everything is all here. You can get it from our page, also from our developer page, right? But is all the documentation for this V2 release is all here, right? So let me back for your view, André.
Okay, so here, oh sorry, uh, here I have set the repo. Now, another very nice thing about VS Code is that it has this VS Code lens extension, which helps on the usage of Git. So like for example, here I can just add all my new files to here. Here I can create a commit. There's commit. And now I can publish this new branch. Let's go to here. It's here. Okay, I think I have set wrong
The origin,
uh,
yeah.
the wrong URL as
Your git remote v, you show your, yeah, maybe you put
yeah,
my GitHub's origin.
yeah, I think so. Let me add mine one. And now let me uh, check out to mine. Let me see. I think I can just like straight away push it to mine. Yeah. Now we have it here.
So open the pull request because I want to deny a pull request today.
So
Yeah,
I
I
think,
think you must rebase first.
yeah, I think so.
Rebase from origin, main. Yeah, yeah. There is a conflict on README, I think,
Oh, okay.
because the README is the only file that there is on this repository.
Um, yeah, so accept incoming.
Yeah.
Let's save it. Let's add it. Let's continue it. And now we can push it. Yeah. So now we'll have this fixed. And now, as we can see, we have this commit with this file change. I will create a pull request. Yeah. Now we have the pull request, and now I will pass to Matheus he will show
Yeah.
the demo on his side
Let
in
me
GitHub.
see here if I receive your pull request. Yeah. So I have my first commit here. Okay. So looks good to me. Let's say that I review everything, right? And let's merge this pull request. As soon that I merge it, right, it's we are getting from the dev to the main here, and our pipelines are designed to run on a dev branch until the build and create a package on the platform, but on the main page we have an additional step to update the fleet that you put on the settings, right? So for example, when André runs the fuel pipeline settings, there's a file here. Oh, I think I'm with this zoom so hard here that is not, GitHub is not liking to show the file tree. Yeah. I have these settings JSON here that you can see. Let me apply the zoom again. Yeah. Oh, and now I lost the settings JSON. Yeah. So GitHub does work very well with high levels of zoom, right? Let's go back here. You can see on the TCB fleet name here. You can see that also behind the scenes we are using the integration with Torizon Core Builder, right? The Torizon Core Builder that you create the package for us on the platform side, on Torizon platform side, and we'll update at the end of the pipeline this fleet name here, the release one, right? Okay, let me merge then this one. Let me apply merge pull request. Okay, confirming, merging. Okay, done. And now here on the actions, you can see that the merge pull request is already here. You can see that it's the number 5, right? Because yesterday we did some tests, right, to make sure that the presentation will go well on this repo. But you can see that as soon that we have the project that merged, this triggered the GitHub Actions is already. Yeah, let me show the steps here. We have the initial setup that has a check for the environment, right? So this fail fast, right? If you don't have the environments all set up, all the environments for all the other steps also is first check on this initial setup, right? We have another step to decode our credentials, right? Because our credentials are stored by GitHub in the secrets as a base 64, right? So we need to decode it to use during the pipeline. And then we have the create and publish image, right? This is a cool stuff because I can show to you guys. Let me see if I have the templates. Yeah, I think I have the templates here, right? So let me show here the file that is used by the GitHub Actions. This one. So you can see here, for example, on this step, the deploy, the create and publish, that we are using our wrapper for the same tasks that we have from the Visual Studio Code side, right? So the same tasks that we run on Visual Studio Code, we are running on the pipeline, right? So you don't need to rewrite the things, right? If you want some custom step on your development environment or something, some script that checks something, you can also use it by the name, the label, or by the index of this from the tasks.json, right? It's pretty cool. Okay, let's see. Oh, and our pipeline has completed, and you can see that now we have our devices. Oops, we have our devices here with update pending, right? So this is, you take a bit because we have the pooling time from the device to get the updates. So if we have some question, I think it's good to go to the questions. Let me see. We have another one from Martin. This one, Martin, we work behind an authenticated corporate proxy. How would we configure the new extension to use it? Yeah, this is a tricky one because these ports maybe, if you are using a corporate proxy, right? We set on our documentation some ports that are needed to be used. So maybe you should ask for your IT team to open these ports for you, right? You can see on our documentation and also on the template side there is the ports that we are using. Let me go back here to the screen because the André device has already received the update. The update is progress. Okay, so we should receive. Yeah, you can see on the device.
And we see, as you can see on the screen, the device has already rebooted, and we can see our application working here. And this is our release application.
Yeah.
So the image that it uses is the release image. The code gets compiled in release mode. So it's like for production. Oops,
So it comes from the pipeline, right?
Very cool.
And now my device received the update. It's in progress, right? It already knows that it has an update. So now it's updating my device, and soon we should have my device here with the application running. Update in progress. You can see that my screen is blinking, something is happening. You can see successfully here, and yeah, it's not a static image, guys. It's here, right? Cool. So yeah, let me see if the click. Yeah, the click is working. All right. So I think that we conclude the content that we have. We have more questions. If we don't have any questions, I can show more one thing, or I can try to show, because it's the experimental multi-container stuff. So let's see if this will work or not. Maybe not, I don't know. If we don't have any questions, I think I go ahead. Okay, so let me show a sneak peek of what we are working for multi-container projects, right? So let me share the screen also here. For example, as André said, let me open a new window here. As André said, this is a experimental feature. So yeah, let me connect. Oh, this is a cool stuff, or it's important stuff to tell. You can see that I'm using Windows, right? And you can see that there is no buttons here from the Apollo X extension, because I'm not connected to the WSL, right? I need to first connect to the WSL and install the extension on the WSL side. So you can see now that has the buttons, right? If I click here, you will see that, oh yeah, activation, yeah. It's not possible to use this because it's on experimental, but if you want to be crazy, you can go here and add the Apollo X, where experimental stuff is not here. Oh, it's already there. It's already here as false. So let's set this as true. Then now I can create multi-container projects, right? So there is a flag there. If you want to test experimental stuff, you can put this Apollo X experimental boolean, and the experimental stuff you magically show, right? So here on the multi-container projects, we have more or less the same wizard, but now you can add multiple projects, right? For example, let's only test one and test one. Add it to workspace. More one. So I want to do something crazy with C# and Python. Test two. Test two. Okay, so this will create at the end. I will not create it now because the chances of having some issue or some bug is big. So let's leave it here on this way. It's only to show you guys what we are working for. You create a project, a multi-root workspace project of VS Code with these two templates inside of it. I already have a project here that has this structure. So you can see that I created here a multi-container project, and inside of this multi-container project there is this front end and REST API projects, right? This one and this one. The REST API is a community TypeScript Node.js experimental template, and the front end is a UNO SkillGTK template. But the cool stuff about this is that you can see here, for example, on the task runner that André shows, that there is all the tasks, not only for one project. There is the tasks, you can see that some tasks are duplicated, but you can see that one comes from one template and one is from another one, right? Pretty cool, right? Another cool stuff is the debug. The launchers of the debuggers are merged also, right? You don't have only the launch for one application. You have the launch for the two templates. If I want to run on ARM v7 or ARM v8, and also they make a group of this, right? The launch project. What means? This means that I will launch the two projects together, right? Because one depends on another. If I want to create a multi-service or a multi-root, a multi-container project, right? Maybe we are using one for one thing and another for other thing. In this case, I have the Node.js running as REST API and the .NET Uno as a front end, right? So let's run here this one. Let me only make a small tricky here, because I know if I don't do that, this will not work. But we are working on it, right? It's not stable yet, but only to you guys see that it's pretty cool. Let me start now the debug. I will launch the project, right? So this will launch, you make all the process that André shows, right? The build out application, the build of the Docker image, the deploy, the remote debug, but for the two projects together, right? And you open the debugger here together. You will see that is pretty cool. Meanwhile, the project is being built here. We can go, because I think we have another question here. Let me change here for the questions. Doctor something. Our boards run on embedded Linux directly. Have you any idea how much performance you'll be lost by running it as Docker containers instead? Can we use this in production, or is it for raw?
Prototyping. It's prototyping. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's cut the question here.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have a post about performance, right? I don't remember the link. If someone has the link on the chat and can help me, I think Lucas from product management is on the chat. If you have the link, Lucas, please share. I don't know if it's possible, but because there is a blog post or a developer post, I don't remember very well, but there is about this, right? And you will not lost performance, right? You do not lost much performance as you are thinking, right?
Yeah,
You
and
can
about
use in production with no problem.
Yeah, I was going to say that like in production, we even have like a specific stack, a specific Docker file, a specific Docker Compose file to use your application in production. Like it has even all the, like for example, compiled code compiled with release flags to compile your code for production. So it's like made to be used both on for prototyping and debugging and production.
Cool. Meanwhile, the project is still being building. Let's go to another question. Julio Del Oro, I think this is pronunciation. Sorry if I telling it wrong. What about Azure pipelines? Do you have integrations for that CI? Not yet, Julio. We have for GitLab and for GitHub Actions for now. But as you see, I think it's not much effort to add it to our templates, right? Because we have more or less the same steps that use the tasks from the test JSON from Visual Studio Code side. So it's a matter of get this and test it, right? The format, I don't know, in the Azure pipelines, must be some file to describe the pipeline also and put the steps in. Yeah. But if it's something that you would like to use, please comment it on our community, on your developer community, because we can track um, these requests, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is cool one because Azure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just saying a bit more about what Matheus said, like if you need a new language, a new feature, if you need like anything, please let us know so we can like capture the interest and
Yeah.
see in a way how to do it.
Mm-hmm. This is very important for us because
Yeah, feedback's
yeah,
very important for us.
we know, for example, from the Avalonia project that we are getting a lot of requests from you guys, from the community, for example. So we should add it on our Toradex supported soon, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, oh, we have another question here. Let me, oh, okay. This one from André. Following up the Julia question, what about GitLab CI? We already have it, right? Also, I can't show here because you can already test it. We don't show up today, but on our templates. Also for all the templates we have the GitHub workflows actions and also the GitLab CI one that has more or less the same steps. The initial setup to check the variables, the build, create production image, push it, and then create the package on the platform using Torizon core builder and updating the fleet, right? It's more or less the same steps. But also for the end here, right? For the end of our presentation, we have it running here, the multi-container debug. You can see here, when we go in a multi-container debug session, there is this, this is common, right, for every debug session. But what is not common is this combo box here. You can see this combo box here because we have two debug sessions running together, right? The two remote debug sessions are connected through the containers running on the device. One for the REST API, that is this file. So for example, here I have some endpoints for turn on an LED and turn off an LED. So let's put the breakpoints here. From the front end side, this file, I will put a breakpoint on the button click because, yeah, let me show. You can see it's a bit bright. Let me see if I can reduce the brightness here. Do you guys see? Yeah, you can see that there
yeah,
is
yeah.
the
I think
Torizon
it's
logo,
okay.
the Torizon logo and then a button, right? So I can, for example, go here. Yeah, I already did it. We already have the breakpoint on the event of the click of the button. So if I go here and push the button, yeah, you can see that it reaches the breakpoint here. And here on this will check a breakpoint on an endpoint. Oh no, a variable. Yeah, it will check a variable if the label is on or off. Let's see on. Yeah, it's on. So this will go to off, right? Yeah, it's on the true, but it's okay. So you can see that this changed the context of the debug, right? I was debugging on the front end, but it reached the breakpoint on the API and it changed the debug context, and now I'm debugging the REST API container, right? So if I go on the next step, we should have our LED turn on. You can see that there is no LED turn on. Let's go to the next step. And now you can see that LED is turned on right here, right? So it's cool, it's very cool, because you can debug the two containers working together, right? The multi-service stuff working together, right? For example, let's do it again. Let me off now. So now I have again the breakpoint on the click, so let's go it. And now this LED will be to off. You can see it's on. So let's complete the execution and it's off, right? Pretty cool.
Matheus, we have quick questions about the communication between the containers.
Okay, let me see it. From Marcos, right? Oops, wrong one. Here. Martin, how are containers communicating? Sockets? No, for this demo, they are communicating through HTTP REST API stuff, right? It's nothing about sockets. Each container are isolated, right? They are exchanging HTTP messages. What more? More one from Martin. Is the Docker network set up automatically? Some things are, and other things, if are specific for your application, as André shows, you can edit the Docker Compose, and the Docker Compose is not overwriting, right?
So basically, like, it creates a network that already puts these two containers inside the same network when you run the project, right? On the Docker Compose.
The Docker Compose does it automatically.
Yeah, so you already have like your not local network between the two containers, and from the Docker Compose you can configure specific things that you may need on your network.
Okay, so I think that we are done, right? If we don't have more any question, we already complete more than 1 hour of the live. So yeah, we are done, right? We are good. I think I hope that you guys like this new stuff that we are releasing today. If you have questions, if you have something or some feedback or whatever, please reach us on our developer community, right? We will be glad to see the feedback, the requests, and everything else, right? We are good, André?
Yeah, and also this is like the first live that we do for the release, but we plan on like doing new lives in the future. Like for example, let's say a live just working with C++ template and getting detail on it. Once we launch the multi-container to stable, we'll probably also do a live just showing the feature. So stay tuned with us because we will have more lives in the future about the things, and you might also find it like very helpful for your project. So yeah, and that's it. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. So thank you a lot, guys, and we see you on the next live, right?
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.